So I'm here today to tell an oh so familiar story if you've been following me for a long time, but here's the thing. I've only told the watered down version. This is going to be the story of how I found out that I was being cheated on. For the sake of a new channel, I'm going to keep the name of this person anonymous. For this story, I'm going to be referring to this person as, gosh, basic ass douchebag names. Okay, the top 10 list of most douchebag names. Chad. Chris is on this list. Brad, Trent, Brandon, Guy, Paul, Blake. If you're dating anyone with this name, just be aware. Blake, Charles, Richard. Okay, for the sake of this video, we're going to call him Richard. So let me set.
Hi guys, in today's show we are going to be responding to a video entitled How I Found Out My Ex-Husband Was Cheating on Me. Before we move on guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click onto the notification, press on the like button. Now let's move on to the video.
The mood here. I was a teen mom. I had at the time she was a one-year-old daughter, and I was newly married. And by newly, I mean literally 3 weeks ago I had gotten married. And I was pregnant with twins. I was about 5 to 6 months pregnant with twins. I honestly have limited memory of the things happening around me during this time. I got married on 11/11/2011, so 11/11/11. I found out that I was being cheated on December 7th, 2011. So if you do the math, that's not very long. It's about 3 weeks of being married from the day that we got married until the day that I found out I was being cheated on. So I don't have any notes or anything. I'm just gonna do this purely based off of what I have in my head. December 7th, 2011. I have no idea. I still don't know to this day how long before the day that I found out that he had cheated on me. All I know is what happened that day. About a week before I found out he was cheating on me, there were a lot of weird red flags. And what I mean by that is, well, he had always been kind of picky about like, you can't see my phone or you can't see it right now type of thing. Sometimes he would leave it out, but sometimes he would be very adamant about keeping it in his pocket when he was at home, like playing video games. I would watch him like pull it out, text or something and put it back away. Little things like that. And girls, don't miss the red flags. This was a good, what was that, 8 years ago? Holy shit, 8 years ago. This is back before everybody and their mother had an iPhone. I didn't have an iPhone, he didn't have an iPhone, and it's a good thing because apparently the app that I found wouldn't work on an iPhone. It's really weird the way that it worked out. So I didn't want to admit it to myself, especially because I had just gotten married and I was pregnant with twins. I think I was shielding myself from reality by just choosing to pretend like nothing was happening. But it got to a point where I looked up if there was ways to see who people were texting. In the past, I had tried to get a hold of his phone, and if I did, things would be deleted. So it was that kind of relationship. It's not like we had a closed phone policy. Like if I'm remembering correctly, there would be times where he would be like, go through my phone, like go ahead, go through my phone. But it was the times when he didn't say go through my phone that he would like keep it hidden. And when I did go through his phone, there was things deleted. There had to have been a decent amount of red flags for me to actually sit there and Google ways to see people's text messages or something. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I just literally went into Google and it came up this app called, or I don't think it was even an app, it was a website. Like it was before, I mean there probably was apps, but it was before like everything in its mother was an app. I don't even know if this fucking website still exists, but it was called Spybubble, spybubble.com. At the time, your girl was a broke ass bitch. I was in school full time, I was a teen mom. YouTube was pretty much just a hobby back then. I mean, I obviously wasn't broke, but I didn't have like extra money to spare. We had just had a wedding, I was pregnant with twins, I was saving for that, I had a daughter. We were tight on money. So this app or this website cost $30 to do. And I had no idea if it even worked. I think I like looked on the reviews on the website itself, which is always sketchy because you never know like if they pick and choose what reviews end up on there. But for some reason, there was something in me that just said, just do it, just try it. I think I ended up putting it on my credit card even, but because it was like 30 bucks to do this thing. So this website claimed to be able to read people's text messages, track who they're calling, what times this is all happening. Every 15 minutes, it would record like 1 minute of sound or something. It would take pictures like every 5 minutes. It would just like snap a picture picture and somehow save it to the website but not to the phone, it would show the websites that they're visited. This shit was probably illegal. It would record the phone calls, it would record the voice messages, and it would send it to this app that you paid for. You had to like log in and you could see what was happening. I sound like a fucking crazy bitch, but you guys, it worked. So let's bring us to the morning of December 7th. I was in school full time. It had to have been either my 3rd or 4th semester in college, and I had a child development class that morning. Prior to leaving, Richard would often sleep in the mornings, and I would be up with my daughter, you know, like making her breakfast and doing that and whatever, and just getting ready to go to school. It had very specific directions of how to put it in, and it was so sketchy, like so sketchy. Step 1, get the phone. Step 2, I don't remember what it was. Honestly, this was so long ago, but you had to like click this, and this, and then you had to download this, and then you had to type in this, and you had to do this, and then you had to delete this. So there was no, you couldn't see it was on your phone. You would have no idea that it was on your phone at all. Again, this is probably outlawed now. At the time, it was there, I don't know. So he was sleeping, and he had his phone sitting like right next to his face when he was sleeping, right? But I knew, like, based off of what he normally does in the morning, there'd probably be a good hour before he woke up. So I set my daughter up, like made her breakfast and stuff, sat her down in her high chair, and I snuck back into our room. Snuck back. I walked my ass in my room. I carefully grabbed his phone, I put it in, and then you have to restart the phone, and then I went and I put it back, and he didn't wake up, and then I was like, so then the only thing you have to wait for is for things to happen. As soon as you send a text, this website would be tracking things, and it would update the website every 15 minutes. There could be like 20 text messages sent, but you would only see it every 15 minutes, and it would update, and you would literally see, it would have a phone number and the message, and a phone number and the message, and then like the times that everything was sent. But again, I knew that something was off. And honestly, if you're not willing to give up your phone to your significant other, that's a red flag. I was married to the man. I bought the fucking phone. Like, I feel like I had every right to put it into his phone. If you don't have anything to freaking hide, then there should be nothing wrong with it, right? So I put this thing in his phone, and I got Lilia up and ready. Eventually he woke up, and I said my goodbyes, and I had to leave to go to school. I sat down in my class. Literally, you guys, within 15 minutes of getting to my class, Richard was already texting some number that I didn't know, didn't recognize. I put it in my phone because we had like all the same contacts, you know, so like I put it in my phone to see if I recognized it. I didn't recognize it, but at the time I'm like helpless. There's nothing I can do at that point. Within those first 15 minutes of reading through the texts that were being sent, I knew that I was being cheated on. There was something about kissing and something about, what are you doing tonight? Like that kind of thing. I obviously couldn't say anything because I didn't really have any proof. I mean, I had proof. I didn't want to blow my cover right away. I wanted to kind of just like see what happened. I wanted to know the extent of things because I didn't want to jump in it too fast. And mind you, I am not a confrontational person. So this terrified me. The thought of saying anything to him absolutely terrified me. I could not concentrate in class that day. You guys, I was so devastated. Not only was I fucking emotional because I was hella pregnant, but my whole life was falling apart before my eyes, and I knew it, and there was nothing that I can do about it. So I let that class go by. I remember we had a break. We had like a 15-minute break, and all I did, I like brought a snack. I didn't eat. I just sat there and I was watching him text this other female shit that you shouldn't be saying when you're married. I think I had 3 classes that day. So eventually I had a break. I think it was right after the child development class. I went home. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I had to see him face to face and not say anything, knowing that I was being cheated on, knowing that I didn't want to blow my cover. I had to go home and talk to him as if nothing was wrong. I don't think I did a very good job of it. I think he ended up saying like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I think I just blamed it on like morning sickness or something. I was like, I'm just not feeling well. And you know, but really I was so sick to my stomach. It was really funny though, because when you watch the pattern of these texts, when I was home, all of a sudden they stopped. And I knew that because I could see the times of everything. Eventually I left again. I had to go back to school. Throughout that class was when things really started getting vulgar. It was an English class followed by a math class that I had. So I was sitting in my English class. I'm pretty sure it's English. I couldn't check it a whole lot because some professors are just, you know, you have to like super pay attention more. Obviously that day my brain was like not there. I probably shouldn't have even been in school, but I like never missed school. And I just remember after the English class reading all these texts. I specifically remember him saying, Jess is gonna be at school for another X amount of time. Can you come over? And she replied back something like, oh, my mom says I need to vacuum.
Hi guys. To me, I don't understand. It seemed to me as this guy never really played his role very well. If you are newly married and you will be in this type of relationship or this type of, you better be upfront. Secondly, you don't have to bring the person into your marital home. For me, I don't feel it was a best way to do this. If you cannot hold yourself, maybe because of your wife is pregnant for some reasons which I do not understand for now, because sometimes at least we have to take some responsibilities, especially in early marriage, young woman, all those type of things like that. But if you can, at least maybe you can just do some things outside of the days if you can't hold yourself, or you be upfront, let the wife know that this is it, you can have something outside, because truly you will tear your marriage life apart, man. You better be upfront in these modern days, because things are not the way they used to be.
3 more rooms and do this and that. I don't know if I'm gonna make it in time. So when I saw that text that I don't think I'm gonna make it in time, I texted one of my best friends, Courtney. She was my maid of honor at my wedding, and I told her what was going on. And we were at the same college. She was not in my class, but she was in another class, and our break was at the same time. And so we met up at that time, and I like showed her and explained to her what was going on. And I was like, look, I need to fucking catch him doing it, because he was the kind of person where if you don't have cold, hard evidence, he's so manipulative. He can talk his way out of anything, so convincing. I just knew that if I didn't catch him in the act, he would deny it to his grave that didn't happen, and it would be my word against his word, and that would be the end of it. I knew that I had to catch him in order for anybody to believe me, because he was so charming and manipulative. So I explained to her what was going on. I showed her the texts that were going back and forth. At the time, I still didn't know who it was that he was texting, because I didn't have her number or anything. So my little shady ass texted him, and I said, hey, I really miss Courtney. It's been so long. You know, things have been crazy since we got married. I think I'm just gonna go hang out at her house tonight and like catch up. Of course, he was like, okay, babe, I'm gonna miss you so much, but go ahead. Lo and behold, the next text message sent was, she's gonna be gone for the night, come over. Surprise, surprise, right? So I remember going to my next class. I still had another class. I was checking. I have always been really good at math. Like, I've always had straight A's in math. I've always been, I don't know, math has always been really easy. So it was a really easy class for me. And I sat there and did my work, being a good girl, and I was watching the texts every 15 minutes, update back and forth. And it was so, you guys, this is how bad it was. Richard would send me a text saying, I love you so much, I'm gonna miss you, or I do miss you. And the next text message sent was, when are you coming over to this other girl? I miss your touch. I can't wait to do this, that, and whatever. Stuff that is not YouTube friendly. Literally one after the other. It got to a point where she said, okay, I'm on my way. I'll be there in X amount of minutes. I looked at the time that it was, I looked at the time that it was sent, and I was like, shit, I need to leave now if I want to do this. If I really want to do this, which don't get me wrong, I was so scared. I was so scared because, like I said, I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like conflict. As much as I was so angry and hurt and like I had so many emotions going on, I was so scared. I was so scared. So I texted Courtney and I was like, it's go time. Do you want to come? Like, she was in her own class too, but I had to leave my class early in order to get there at the right time. And she was like, bitch, let's go. We met up together. I believe we took her car, because if I took my car and pulled up, I was afraid that he was gonna like see it, because it was a very, very small apartment complex. Where I lived was very close to where the school was. So we quickly made it there, and I like sat there for a minute and I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I actually gonna say? I just know that I need to do this. I got my keys knowing that the door was probably gonna be locked. We lived on the second story of this apartment complex. The stairs were so freaking creaky. Like, my pregnant ass had to tiptoe up those stairs very quietly to the top of the stairs, and that door was really loud to get in. So once I got to that door, I was like, we just have to go in and do it fast. So I got up to the top of the stairs. Courtney stayed in the car. I took a deep breath, and I did the damn thing. I opened the door, and the first thing that I see, the way that our house was set up was that if you looked straight to the left was our master bedroom, and then like right there was the kitchen. Right when I opened the door, like I said, it was super loud. I opened the door, and the first thing that I see is him right there. He literally turning the corner from the master bedroom. His pants were down. I think his boxers were back on at that point, but his pants were down at his ankles, and he was pulling them up. Like, right when he saw me, he was pulling them up, and his face, I will never forget, looked like a deer in headlights. So he quickly buttons his pants, and I was like, what are you doing? And the first thing that he says to me is, oh, this is my cousin, you met her. His cousin. He wasn't lying. It was his cousin. By marriage, so there's that. But his cousin was in my house. She attended our wedding. I don't feel like I need to say anything else in terms of that. At that moment, I said, I know who the fuck you are. Get out of my house. And that bitch got up so quick and ran. She like didn't say shit. She just like left. She walked out so quick. And he was like, what are you doing? He like tried to play it off. What are you doing here? Like, why are you being weird? Like, what's going on? Because she was dressed and her hair was wet. So I'm guessing it was in the shower. I don't know for sure, but her hair was wet. So she left. Like, they were already done. Her work there was done. So she left, and he tried to play it off like, oh, what are you doing? Like, oh, I thought you were gonna go to your friend's house. Like, what happened? And I said, I know what you did. And he was like, what are you talking about? You don't know anything. Like, what do you know? I think I walked away because I didn't know, like, there's so much. You know how you wish you could just go back to a situation and say so much more than you said? Like, oh, there's so much that I could have, would have, and should have said that I didn't. And I just, you know how you replay scenes in your mind again and again and again and again? Like, I wish I could go back to that day sometimes. I mean, it's not that important to me now. Now it's just a funny story. But for a long time there, I replayed that scene again and again and what I should have said and what I could have done. But I said nothing. I said, get out. And then I walked into my bedroom, and I remember I leaned up against the dresser and I just started crying because I didn't know what else to do at that point. And he was like, what are you doing? You're being crazy. Like, stop, come on, what are you doing? And I just said, Richard, I know what you did. I saw the text messages. And he's like, what are you talking about? He just kept playing it off as if nothing happened. So that's when I threw out details. And this is what I was talking about. Like, I knew that he was gonna do this. And so I said, I know, this is the only thing that I could remember saying at the time. And I was like, I know how she had to vacuum this, and this room before she had to come over. I know this, that, and then it was very specific things. And when I said that, all he did was look at me. He had nothing to say. And he took off his ring and he handed it to me and he left. And that was the end. And I didn't speak to him again for 3 months until right before the twins were born. Being cheated on is one thing, but being cheated on when you're carrying that person's children, like it's not even like we have kids together. Like, I'm literally pregnant with the kids, with twins. It was rough. It was probably one of the lowest points in my entire life emotionally. The next day, my whole amazing support system that I had came to the apartment and helped me move my entire apartment out. I left him all the furniture. I moved back in with my mom. So that's the thesis. That's how I found out that my ex-husband was cheating on me with.
Yeah, guys, this is really mind-blowing. This guy was caught red-handed, no way to escape. So share your thought on it. I don't know what to say. Play the game like a professional. So share your thought down below. What do you think? How did she play? Share your thought down below, because this guy, I don't know, to me, he was completely wrong. Yeah. He played everything wrongly from the beginning to the end. And when you are newly married, man, I don't think you really need all these things. You have to enjoy your wife. So be it. Share your thought down below. That's my thought.